Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. 91 Corvette ZR1, driven around 1,400 miles a year, okay? Listen, this is the way you buy a car. You don't go out and you buy a $110,000 ZR1, you buy a car like this. First off, this car had about 29,000 miles on it when we got it. We've been driving a little bit because I think it drives so great. I love getting in it, and this motor is spectacular. So just went over the 30,000 mile mark, gives you a whole lot of room to drive it for a while, have some fun, and probably doesn't cost you anything as well, because these cars have really held their value. They're really one of those great investment grade Corvettes. And as we walk around this car, you'll see the subtle differences that set this car apart from others, and then you'll see the mechanical differences, which make a huge difference. All right, so come on up, let's check here. It looks to be all original factory paint. Unfortunately, the white paint doesn't reflect very well in here, and the reason why, for the same reason people buy white cars in hot climates, because it keeps the cars a lot cooler. But anyway, that's a lot of times why white cars typically hold up so well, because the paint is reflecting, and it's not like the black cars where you can see everything, okay? As we walk around the car, so I want to show you a couple of the subtle differences. Original factory style wheels, all right? So the cool thing is, like a regular Corvette would have a center cap like that there, all right? And as you walk back here, this car subtly, because it's a ZR1, is actually wider in the rear. And we walk around the back, you'll see that. And here's how wide you can tell it is. All the other cars have the same dish as the front wheel right there, but if you look at this dish here, it's different. It's stepped out much more because the car is wider and they needed to push the wheel out. So these are ZR1 specific rear wheels on here, fresh set of tires on the car, and it really is in spectacular shape. This has been in somebody's climate controlled storage. It's been loved and it's been taken care of. And again, like I said, I'm not sure that you can have this much fun for this little bit of money, especially in an investment grade Corvette like this. And even little stuff like, it just sounds new. Like somebody's just really taken this car out for a drive and taken it out and not killed it. So anyway, keep walking around with me for a second, because I want to show you a little more about the styling part. So check out this big exhaust system and check out how big the tail is on here. You can see it's significantly wider, and as you look down the side of the car, they subtly took the car and widened the whole rear end to get more wheel and tire back there, because they have a whole lot more power. So you got little stuff like this hatch here that opens up, and inside here we have the glass top. I want to show you that real quick. Little stuff like that works. So you say, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, you know, we're heading to, this car is over 20 years old. It's pretty significant. I mean, we're talking about a car with 30,000 miles on it that's 20 years old. It's pretty impressive. All right, so this is the top that would go in there. It's also tinted, which is really nice, and it has a place for storage. You can still put luggage and things like that underneath. Come on in here and check out all the room. But I also wanted to show you the condition of how beautiful everything is back here. Still got the Delco Bose decals on the speakers. You can see that right over here. It's a gold series. It was a top-of-line sound system during its time, and actually still sounds nice. And this pin right here keeps this top in place so it won't move around. That way you have it with you in case of some foul weather comes. Just slip right back on. Fuel storage in here, so you don't have like openings of gas tanks and what have you. And I'm not really sure you really need that emblem, because most people from behind will know exactly what this car is. It's low, it's fast, and it is, especially for a Corvette, it's a little bit loud, because let's go check under the hood and you'll see why. All right, let's check out the mother load here. All right, this is pretty cool, man. When you think about this, this is almost a little uncomfortable for GM to do, but they knew they needed to outsource this engine right here to get things done right. Now, this was built by Mercury Marine, who's already a pioneer in getting a lot of horsepower out of small, compact engines. Most people don't realize, when you look at like an outboard motor, how small they are, getting 60, 70, 90 horsepower out of a tiny little thing, and then they're getting now, 300 horsepower out of these outboards. It's unbelievable. So anyway, so they send this out here. Mercury Marine builds this entire beautiful aluminum block and head, 32 valve, 4-cam V8. They underrate them at 375, 385, then they jump up to 405, but these things have always been known to make over 400 horsepower, closer to 450, and a couple slight modifications like exhaust upgrades and a chip. They've been known to get closer to the 500 mark, and they make wonderful power. They make this incredible sound, but they do drive very different than a regular Corvette. The 32 valve V8 gives you a little different power delivery, and I'll tell you what that means. So the regular Corvette engine with the two valve pushrod style engine would make a lot of power from 1500 to say, 4500. Well, this one here makes from 3500 all the way up to redline, huge amounts of power, and it's so significantly different. It is like a hammer when it comes on. It almost feels like a turbo. It's just I don't know, the sound that comes from under here is so mechanical and so visceral, just the feel through the 6-speed transmission. It is awesome. Don't forget too, you got a fully independent rear with factory posit traction back there, and a super heavy duty 6-speed to go with it. So these have really been bulletproof. They've really held up well, and I think that most people are really happy. And also everything's really easy to get to when you look under here. The oil filter is a remote style oil filter right there, so you don't have to worry about trying to get your hands stuffed inside. All the suspension pieces in here, I wanted Justin to come on in and look at that. If you could, just take some pictures of how clean the suspension, all the decals are still in place here. You can tell that this car here was a show car at one time. Somebody has taken this car to shows. Everything's been wiped down, taken care of. Even the Corvette LT5 plug wires are labeled Corvette LT5 on them. I'm having a little trouble talking today, but just work with me here. Work with me. Anyway, okay, so we've looked under here. We saw all the good stuff. You can take this car to a show, and it is wonderful. All right, why don't you guys join me inside and let's check out the interior, because the interior is super, super nice. Okay, I want you to see this because this really is, and the reason I wanted you to look at this is because it's so well taken care of. Everything is still supple. It has the upgraded seats in it that you can get. This is the sports seats, ZR1 style, right? But the carpet is in great shape. The dash isn't all burned up and shrunk. The stereo system's here. The climate control is here. The 6-speed in your hand is really very nice. And this is really cool right here. I don't know if everybody still remembers this, but check out this key that you get. So this is called the Valet Key, and what you would do is you would put it on normal, okay, and then take the key with you. All right, then you didn't get all the power that was available. So if you took the car to a valet, or you're afraid your kids might take it out or something like that, and then you clicked it over here to full when you wanted everything to have happen under the hood, and that's the reason you bought the car in the first place. And I look at that here, and it's just a 7,000 RPM redline, full gauges everywhere. It's just a great cockpit. I mean, everything is here for you. This is like fighter plane style. It's just really, really cool. Plus you get the ride control. This is a very expensive option on the standard Corvette. You got Touring, Sport, and Performance. The Touring really makes a car ride, I'm gonna say like a Cadillac, but it's very close to a luxury car ride. Sport gives you a little bit of both. It gives you the performance and the ride, but still give you some handling. And then you go ahead and put it on Performance, and that's for back roads. Maybe you wanna take it to the track for a track day or something like that. It'd be pretty spectacular. Your passenger doesn't have to suffer either because it's got all the full power stuff here to make them comfortable. Also has the bolsters here that pump up, and all those work, and this lets the air out of all the bladder system inside there. It's a really cool car. It's a great buy. As we close up this video, I'll review just a couple of things. Almost mirror finish factory Arctic white paint. You saw how great the red leather interior looked inside the car. We're talking about a pretty cool car. They only built 351 of these cars. I mean, that is a really, really low production number. Not to mention, just a little over 1,000 miles a year of driving. And I think that in the world of collectible cars, these cars continue to hold their value. As a matter of fact, I believe they're back on the upswing here as well, which is pretty cool to be able to buy a car, have some fun with it, and maybe even have it go up in value, which is unheard of for most people buying any type of car. So at the end of the day, your 200 mile an hour speedometer, I'm not sure if you're ever going to see that or not. I'm not suggesting you do that, but if you do, let me know, because I'd really like to know what it looks like. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000 and we'll tell you all about it.